is game 3 of this best of 3 to start off the season for both of these teams. And JackeyLove's Draven will be coming out in game 3.
Yeah, and I think taking the Viego as well for Tian, he had such a good game on it before, makes a lot of sense. They will lock that in. Now, JDG, I imagine they'll take a jungler here. They can take that Wukong once more. They could also go in a different direction. I do think, though, if you're going to take the Nami, it has to be in this rotation. And we have seen that Lucian constantly paired with the Nami. So I expect probably Wukong, probably Nami coming out from this rotation for JDG. But it looks like they agree with me. So now, two choices for top esports. You can pick a lane like top or mid and then ban away counters without being answered. Or you can just pick a support to secure something that will match up well. Something like Nautilus makes sense. Mark had a good game on it before, and it means if either the the Lucian or the Nami miss position, you can look to punish.
And I find that as an interesting adjustment here for TES, where Mark is opting in, at least in the last couple of games, to this Nautilus, to that in-game, and finding that forward momentum for TES. And I really like the comfort coming through for this bottom lane.
So now at this point, top esports can set themselves up for counter pick for Wayward. So maybe they could ban away some blinds that 369 might pursue. Nas has been pretty popular on the patch because obviously his mini form is a lot tankier, harder to punish, harder to dive, but also percentage HP has a lot of value. But instead, they start to ban away the mid. So Azir going to be taken. We'll see what JDG up to do. If there's any mids they're scared of being like first pick next rotation they can take out or anything counter pick, they'll actually ban the Gnar themselves. So not wanting to give that over to Wayward and give some of that extra power.
And just the adaptation mid-series from these two teams, and the fact that we've ended up in game 3 with a Lucian versus a Draven in the bottom lane, I think is super fun. But the rest of the picks are going to be crucial as well.
Yesterday, if anyone didn't see it, Wink picked Draven, had like 350 stacks. And bear in mind, they actually hotfixed on this patch, right? Patch 12.10. Stacks are now worth 2.5 gold each, not 2 gold. So he was sitting on like 700 plus gold worth of stacks, and he died. And I just felt, oh my god, it was so painful. So it's gonna be, I'm really gonna be watching the stacks, gonna be seeing who gets that first initial kill. It can literally be enough gold to dictate a game, whether you get it or not. Now, Vladimir comes through as a ban from 369. It is something we saw Flandre play yesterday, and we saw a lot of MSI as an answer to Gwen, but obviously Gwen is banned. Now, top esports, they can blind a mid here if there's something they feel confident on. And we did talk about the reset mechanics of Lissandra. Vex has that as well, has that fear lockdown. If you think about the short range, Lucian and Wukong, that AoE fear can be really devastating. But now we see what JDG have to answer, what Yagao opts to pick, and also 369's blind that Wayward can answer.
They banned away Yagao's Zoe. I'm a little sad I didn't get to see the Zoe today. I was really excited. I wanted to see Yagao's Zoe on the kickoff day for JDG, but we don't get that. We get the Galio getting locked in here for JDG.
Oh, Camille?
That one. A little throwback to last split.
They could take Camille here. Galio Camille, especially if you're trying to kill a Draven. If your main goal is kill JackeyLove's Draven, I wouldn't want to be playing Draven against like Galio Camille plus Wukong plus like even Nami can ult across the Camille ultimate and just you can't dodge away from it. So we'll see if they opt in that direction or they go for something else. Looks like they are going to go for the Gragas actually. So not too much damage, but it is something that can kind of mitigate the engage potential. Can obviously belly bop quite effectively into any short range champions. We'll see what top esports go for with Wayward here. I feel like honestly JDG don't have that much damage in this composition, right? Galio and Gragas offer a lot of CC and a bit of burst damage, but I feel like if Lucian falls behind, they might really be lacking. So bot lane gonna be really impactful. And yeah,
I was like,
Kayle comes out. That 5-pick counter pick should have a fine matchup into the Gragas. Now, there might be some issues like early on team fighting with all the CC being thrown about from JDG for the Kayle to sort of get the damage in, but ultimately he will just outscale. Like I said, that they'll be lacking damage. Late game, Wayward will just make mincemeat of everyone on JDG. They're all short range. He will absolutely massacre them. The AoE will come in. So this is definitely a game with a timer for JDG, but they can use their tools like the roaming potential of the Galio to just kill JackeyLove. Set JackeyLove behind. You know, if Knight falls behind as well, Vex definitely lacks damage, especially on the durability patch. Doesn't have that much 100 to 0. So there is win cons for JDG, but if they don't shut down JackeyLove, if they let Wayward free scale, it will be painful.
I will say, you know, going into this third game, it will be really interesting to see how both these ADCs plan out. But I think JDG themselves need to look back to game number 1, to that early proactivity we saw them do so well. And I think, as you said, it's going to take some time for TES to set up in this game particularly. That's where JDG need to strike when the iron is hot, need to get out of the gate running it and find something with the combos they've gotten.
Yeah, I think that's a big aspect of it, is hitting the ground running. And again, I said it before, 2.5 gold per stack on Draven. They also increased the base amount from 25 to 40, which isn't much. But basically, if we see JackeyLove not getting into any early skirmishes and getting a ton of stacks, it will dictate the game, quite possibly, whether or not he's able to cash in. So really important that JDG are very responsible in these early skirmishes, making sure they don't give over free kills to the Draven, making sure he's a priority. I do feel like one cool thing to mention is when we get to those later team fights, I hope it's an AP Kayle. I think that's been the better build, even though we saw a lot of AD Kayle yesterday. It's like, if you ult Tian, a lot easier for him to get resets when he's invulnerable and not just going to get bursted down, as that was kind of the strategy last game where JDG failed to, but tried to look to burst down the Viego before he got resets.
Well, here we find ourselves on the last game of day number 2 in week 1 of the LPL summer split. Is TES versus JDG, starting off with some spice from Top Esports. Not going to find anything just yet, but again, it's the looks, it's the proactivity that we want to see from both these teams. And getting into this one, it is all about Kanavi versus Tian.
You know what? I feel like that's fair, but based on how the series has gone, but I feel like this is all about hope versus JackeyLove, because Lucian Nami is feast or famine, right? It is so obnoxious in lane, really difficult trades, but if you get caught by a Nautilus hook, you will probably die. Over. Either party, right? And if JackeyLove gets shut down, he's going to take over. If we see Hope get a gold advantage, he's going to take over. And we're talking about the stacks coming in. JackeyLove is stacking early, getting a couple of stacks there after blue buff, but also it allows him to use his axe early on. He maintains it on the blue buff, and he can go into lane and basically have 2 axes up to start things off. Just Draven things. Obviously, JackeyLove being a veteran on this player knows all the tips and tricks.
Hey, always appreciate that one. And you see those double axes spinning away. Not going to get the early engage from Mark to make that happen, but at least you've got the propensity to go for something there, Mark, and I appreciate that. That's something else we focused in the draft, is that engage potential from Mark. But the volatility of this bot lane will be something we have to keep our eyes on as the game goes on. It is getting a little bit spicy early. Mark about half health. JackeyLove still putting in some work here, but it's just the trading we've seen be normal in the bottom lanes early on. Everybody's just willing to give up their health bars.
Yeah, and I think importantly, Mark was trying to get that hook level 1, because level 1 is really where Lucian Nami doesn't have much to offer in terms of trading power. JackeyLove and Mark find priority to get level 2, but Kanavi, he go for an early gank, but note that ward in the river. It should help them spot out Kanavi early, but I don't even know if it's going to be enough, right? If Kanavi finds a way in and you're overextended, you will just die. Okay, they will spot him. I'm so tense about this Draven. He doesn't really have enough stacks here to lose, but any sort of favorable kill for JDG could be devastating for Top Esports in the bot lane.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things that, as you kind of said, just blows the game wide open, and we've seen that be true, right? Like, both of these games in this series have been very one-sided towards the team that got the early advantage, that found the control around the map. Last game, it was TES getting almost full objective control, only losing out on that one Rift Herald at the beginning of the game, and then JDG in the first game just always pushing the pedal to the metal against TES, not letting them make these decisions. But here in this third game, we'll get a little bit of both sides of the table, I'm sure, but we'll still see priority gained by Top Esports' bottom line.
And we'll see Tian coming down. Oh, Mark maybe overstepping, but doesn't have tower aggro.
Tian is right here. JackeyLove wants to go in. The Ignite is ticking on to JackeyLove. Tian not going to go pull the trigger just yet. They're searching for it. Here comes Knight as well. They really just want to force this down bottom lane. And there's really nothing that JDG can do. They just have to watch this happen. They don't have any cross-map plays. Yagao's coming down, but it's too late. They have found a trade back. They at least get JackeyLove. They also get Mark. No way. And they get the trade. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of JDG after everything.
I don't think Top Esports got the memo about the tower damage. They bring 4 members, but JackeyLove and Mark so low, and they end up getting bursted out. And now, okay, there wasn't that many stacks for JackeyLove to lose in that situation. I think he had about 60, 70, so it's not a humongous amount. But Hope gets 2 kills in the pocket.
That's
fantastic
insane.
way to start off the lane. And we'll get a replay, so... You know, just look at the health of the bot lane of Top Esports. And ultimately, this is quite heavily mismanaged because Hope finds a window to burst JackeyLove. And then it's Mark who gets aggro, trying to stop the all-in from happening. And he's so low, he just instantly dies. Now, no one else goes down, but it's Hope who gets both of those kills in pocket. Not the best start for this Draven for JackeyLove.
At all. That's not what you want to see when you're picking up JackeyLove's signature Draven as well. But we'll see if that continues to be the case or if he can turn these things around in this game. We're only 5 minutes in. We did see 369 taking a pretty good trade against Wayward up in the top side of the map, but we'll have the first dragon on the Rift. I was wondering how early we'll see these junglers focus this, but it looks right now it's just about lane focus.
Yeah, I mean, I expected the focal point to be this bot lane. I wasn't sure if we were going to see a dive that early. I was even going to make the point is like this point of the game with in the previous patches is when we would see a dive, like the 4-man stacked wave. But I feel like the setup wasn't good. I mean, one, the tower damage is more threatening. We talked about that countless times. It is very difficult to pull off these early dives, but also the fact that Top Esports bot lane traded so heavily to get the wave in that position meant they were a little bit vulnerable. And now it's a noon quiver for Hope. JackeyLove isn't really too far behind in items because he did have that CS lead. But it looks like with the wave in an awkward position, Kanavi is fishing for an opportunity.
He wants to try to punish JackeyLove and Mark a little bit more and continue a lot of the good graces this bot lane has been able to do for JDG. Hope and Missing having great performances in game 1 and now into game 3 here as well. But it's still just everybody
Oh, that might be it.
in the bottom lane. Hook actually lands on the Kanavi, and that means the JDG's going right back in here. They have a decent amount of damage. The heroic entrance as well. Utilize that MR is huge. JackeyLove, oh no, he's caught out, taunted, left out to dry. Hope picks up the kill. Flash from Mark, but he dies anyways to Kanavi, and this is looking like a repeat of game 1.
And Yagao there with a Galio. This is why you take this. When you know bot will be a focal point, you pick the roaming mid. As we said earlier today, you can basically pick anything in this meta, and he picks to ensure that when a skirmish happens, he will be there. Mark was looking for Missing, ended up connecting onto Kanavi instead, not the target he wanted, and the focus once more all onto JackeyLove. And now Hope 3-1-1 on the Lucian. Going to be quite, not quite finishing his mythic, but working well towards it. And JackeyLove losing out on that CS advantage, losing out in terms of kills. Stacks reset once more. Remember, you lose 75% of your stacks when you die. And as much as, like, you know, this early in the game, you can't have stacked up a load. It's still a massive loser. And he might go to...
Doesn't matter. He might not be able to stack up any at all. That burst damage is huge, but Missing is getting very low as well. JackeyLove. Oh! Hope with the slam down. Shadow Surge is going to miss because of the flash. The hook misses as well. Mark gets outplayed by Hope, and Hope unleashes the calling into Knight. Knight has to flash away. What plays coming out for JDG? They have woken up.
No, and I'm going to say we talked about team play in game 1 being better from JDG, and I feel like those first early kills were team play coming in again for JDG, but that was not. That was Hope breaking the ankles of the Top Esports bot lane, absolutely dumbstering them. And we can see the replay again. Mark doesn't connect on the right target. They're trying to disengage, and JackeyLove caught by the bubble. And as much as the Galio doesn't connect, he has Predator, and look at Yagao speeding up. No way you're getting out of that situation.
Yeah, Mark even flashing away, just thinking, but Kanavi's so quick on the follow-up there, and then the bottom.
Yeah, bubble connecting, really good read for Missing to throw it behind him as JackeyLove runs forward. It's actually one of the reasons Nami can work into Draven, because you assume he's going to walk back into his axe and you can connect. And then there, trapping himself between the turret and the wall so that they can find the piercing light onto him, and then Missing flashing so the ult doesn't connect. We see Hope dashing away from the hook and using the brush. It was actually a dodge away, it wasn't even a dash. Using the brush so that Mark lost vision. Just really excellent play. And now look at the item difference in the bot lane. CS difference is completely closed. Hope has Gale Force completed now on this Lucian. 5-1. This is not how you want the Draven lane to go.
It is the opposite of how you would want the Draven lane to go.
Well, it depends from whose perspective you're looking at. I think JDG are very satisfied with how this Draven game has gone. And now getting a bunch of plates on the top side as well. They swapped up. They had momentum. They had the ability to move first. Yeah, and they grabbed the Herald with their bot lane and get a full tower. So we're only talking about how fed this Lucian is. It's getting a bit extreme now.
All right, here's a response, though. This is where they can get something back. Tian gets the reset and gets the kill. Yagao goes down.
I'm not sure JDG care that much, right? Obviously, they wouldn't want to lose their Galio, but they're getting a second charge in top. Might even look for a little bit more here if they can get the tower. Let's see if top esports can at least ward them up. But either way, that tier 2 very low on the back of that second charge. JDG 3,000 gold ahead before 10 minutes. Yeah, rough for top esports.
Just a little bit rough, but exactly where JDG want to be is we'll get back onto the reset, back onto the map. Tian is finding some time to steal away some chicky nuggies, as Tian has been one to do all series long so far, but see if that really ends up at anything. We'll get the reset from the jungler of TES while Kanavi is trying to catch up and farm a little bit here, but it's just going to go back to a state of where we had the lane swaps. Now we're going to bring back the original lanes here and try to see if we can set up around this next objective, which will be 1 minute and 30 for the next dragon.
Honestly, if you ignore the bot lane, top esports doesn't look too bad, right? Tian has a CS lead, Knight 20 CS up because Yagao went for those roams. Wayward's doing fine in the top lane matchup. That stuff's all good. But unfortunately, we have to kind of factor in the bot lane. And this is one of the big spikes I love to talk about. It's not just the Gale Force for Lucian, but it's one of these situations where your support item matters really importantly too. Missing has the mandate, the synergy, the fact that you get the empowered autos for Lucian, you get the buff with the Tidecaller's Blessing from Missing. I think that's the E, or maybe that's the passive. But either way, you get the empowered damage from Nami E, and you get the mandate procs. It will just be an obscene amount of damage. And yeah, top esports know that this is a problem. They try and send 4, but are spotted out.
That's that's a worth award right there from JDG. Setting up, everybody comes down for TS, but they get spotted out. Now the calling comes out. Kanavi, he's going forward. Cyclone, the rest of the team for TS just left. And it left out their bottom lane to die. Shadow Surge comes through. Tower Shot comes through. Kanavi goes down, but immediately traded back is Knight.
Yeah, Knight manages to get a trade kill, but it's still a massive win for JDG. The culling comes down, doing so much damage, and Kanavi on the Wukong once more, finding the bot lane. 0 for Draven, 0 for Nautilus. This is a crushing coming out from JDG, and more plates for Hope. They took 5 plates in the top lane. Going to continue to hammer down in the bot lane. I want to see the gold difference between these AD carries. I feel like it's going to be somewhat ridiculous. It's 2-level lead, by the way, for Hope as well, between him and JackeyLove. And you know, I was talking about the stacks, like, you know how there's that anxiety when they get high stacks and like, oh, will they cash in? I don't think JackeyLove's ever got past like 100 stacks this game. He's just never had a chance.
Never even had a chance here, and
there's no Draven passive in this game.
Yeah,
JackeyLove ain't gonna get to use it.
But TS, again, another thing that we've been talking about this whole time is always looking for windows, no matter what. Even if you're behind, even if you're getting, you know, the map taken out from under you like a rug, TS are looking for those picks. They were looking towards bot lane. I think it was a good call to respect how strong the bottom lane is right now. Tian decided not to go down there. They didn't contest for the second dragon, but it is about finding those windows that we saw be so important last time as we look at a replay of that last one.
Yeah, and Hope beautifully dodging away from the standard side so that you can continue to get like the full culling in. The slow from the Nami E as well, meaning they can't just escape. And then Knight comes in with the trade kill. But I want to credit Missing. These bubbles are being fantastic this game. I often say Nami bubbles are a really hard skill shot to land. It's so slow, and importantly, the travel time is the same if you throw it right on top of you and if you throw it at max range. So it can be really hard to connect it, especially when we're playing like in a league like the LPL against a top elite team like Top Esports, where the mechanics are so on point. But he has consistently been landing them this game, finding these windows, finding these opportunities. So Missing and Hope really playing this game out well and showing that leaving up Lucian Nami against them is absolutely a mistake.
Yeah, with that, the lead has just grown so big for JDG. About 4,500 gold early on before the 15-minute mark, I was going to do a little check-in. You know, we did set up. There's some scaling aspects on TES, the damage aspects on TES later on in the game. Got a level 10 Kayle so far. Not level 11 just yet, not level 16. Have to keep an eye on that one if that's going to make a difference. But right now, it's all about the early game. It's all about the proactivity. And it's about the first 14 minutes for JDG.
Well, the thing is, if Lucian's behind, he's not going to be super... Oh, wait, might be trouble for Wayward.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of mana here. 369 just slowly but surely going to take this out. This is like... This is unfortunate. This is so sad to watch Wayward slowly but surely die to a man with a cask in his hand. And there it is. 369 picks up the kill.
Yeah, 369 finds the flank. No mana from Wayward, but honestly doesn't really have the damage there to burn through the Gragas, so will just slowly go down. It's like a 5k gold lead now for JDG. 2 towers in pocket, and it's a Mountain Soul. Could see a Mountain Soul as early as like 22 minutes in this game. And when you're already lacking damage for top esports because your ADC is so far behind, you'll really struggle to shred through. But they are not looking for a play.
Trying to get it, but Kanavi shows up right when Mark goes around the corner with the Hex Flash and decides not to take the engage.
Doesn't find the window, doesn't find the opportunity. And that's the thing, right? We said Lucian needed to be ahead to have the damage. And he's absolutely so far ahead. About to have 2 items. JackeyLove struggling. Just finished his first in return. And you also have the fact that Nami will be bolstering that Lucian damage. So I said I had concerns about the damage for JDG later in the game. The fact that they have this Galio Gragas who won't be pumping big numbers in the late game. I think they are more than fine for the sizable future. Top esports need a ton of time to get back into this game.
Yeah, they absolutely do, but it's about slowly and surely doing that. Kanavi here going to take that red buff away from TES itself. Probably move out as this point to get the reset at this point to get the reset, but they actually turn onto the Rift Herald. Even though TS is all here, TS not looking like they want to contest it.
I don't think you win this fight. I mean, 369 may have reset, but he has TP, so Top esports will just take another L, give this one up. And it is once more JDG dictating the pace of this game. They have secured every neutral objective so far. And I think what they've done fantastically is they know their bot is super strong. They know they have the support of this Galio in the mid lane who can roam with them and have the ult to cover. And so they're just moving their bot lane around. It's kind of similar to what teams needed to do with Caitlyn Lux. When you win lane, you move them around and just they're your tower taking duo. Doing a similar thing with this Lucian Nami. And no one can even go even vaguely close to them because the E into Gale Force from Lucian closes such a distance. Then you get the slows come in, but now they're looking.
Tian might find the flank here. Cullen comes out. He finds the stun. Heroic entrance comes down, though. Tian is trying to make it happen. Tian can't find it. And now it's a front to back. Make it everywhere because the cast comes out and TES go flying. Wayward is putting in some work. He has hit 11, but that's all 5 members of JDG making it out.
Yeah, Wayward can't get in range to ult Tian. Tian predicts the flash from Hope with the ultimate, but doesn't have enough damage to finish him off. And then JackeyLove just got bursted. And honestly, I feel like Wayward should have popped the ult then. But either way, they do respect the Kayle and back off, but now Mark's in trouble.
They're still engaging. Shadow Surge connects on 369. Bubble does connect. Mark just dies to Yagao. Knight is overextending. The Righteous Judgment doesn't do much. Wayward has to flash away. The rest of JDG are now coming to bear on TES. Flash does get utilized by Knight. Is the taunt going to connect? Max range does, and Kanavi gets the kill.
It felt like a desperate engage from Top Esports. They felt like they had to try something, but the problem is when you're making that play and you haven't applied any pressure before to JDG, they will have all of their summoners up, and we saw those summoners come in clutch there, able to get enough distance away. We'll see Tian does everything he can here, right? We have the ultimate come in, follows him over with the flash stun, and then the ult to predict the flash. Really nice. But sorry, actually no, it's Hope who flashes after he predicts the dash, so isn't quite able to reach him. Hope ends up surviving as a result, and they aren't able to find the momentum in the play. Yeah, I mean, Tian predicts the dash, can't predict the flash as well, can't close that distance, and ultimately that's the problem. The summoners made the difference for JDG, allow them to win that out, and now 7k gold lead, 3rd dragon about to be secured on time for a 23-minute Mountain Soul. Top Esports, it feels desperate at this point.
It is Kanavi securing that objective while the rest of JDG play buffer zone in front of the tier 1 tower in the middle lane. But it is JDG securing another objective for themselves. As you said, about 5 minutes till that Mountain Soul will come online. We do get the second Rift Herald spawned in the mid lane.
I have a positive for Top Esports.
What you got?
Right?
What you got? Let's hear those
At least
positives.
the bot lane is in unison. Both of them 0-5-2. They are a team right now. They have the synergy.
Hey, I'll give you that one. All right, I'll give you that one. You did some hard-hitting analysis there, as we all do apparently. But in all actuality, you know, you do have a flank coming in here for JDG, and Mark completely cut out. There's literally nothing that can be done for him. Wayward himself TPs to the fight, but now gets caught. Oh my, that was one combo. That wasn't even all of his abilities. That was Hope putting in work against Wayward.
It's so much damage. Top Esports, I don't even know what they can do, right? That's my job, to tell you what they can do. I feel like it's so difficult from this position. They are trying to contest here, but look at the burst.
Tian is just on his own. It's just desperation coming out from TES right now.
This just doesn't look... I mean, game 1 and 2 were kind of... They weren't this stompy. There was definitely a lot of momentum. The team who got ahead really managed to maintain that lead for the most part. But man, this game is just brutal. JDG just taking everything they want and more. They have so much CC and control in their composition with the AP bruisers top and mid. They have the Kanavi Wukong to dive in, and then it just feels like Hope is there just to pick up any kill he wants. He has the rapid fire as well, for that even more range. It's painful.
It's painful. It's painful. He hasn't even finished his boots. He just went straight for the 3-item spike. He's like 1.5, 2 items over JackeyLove at this point. That is insane.
And you know what's a big problem as well? The amount of gold that Missing has. I talked before about the fact that he finished off the mandate very early. He also has a full Mikhail. So even if you're thinking like Knight might land a big fear, as long as Missing doesn't get connected with it too, he can cleanse that and then allow Hope to continue pumping out that damage. It's difficult. And we're going to see Kanavi pick up a Death Dance. We have a Zhonya's for 369. We're going to get a Zhonya's soon for Yagao. It's starting to feel like there are less and less targets for them to take out. This gold lead's so significant. And Top Esports, they're trying to be permanently grouped so no one gets picked. But JDG just group in response, and JDG are far stronger.
Yeah, I mean, they're 9,000 almost in the lead here at this point, and we just crested the 20-minute mark. So this is all JDG all day long. You can see that they are able to utilize some of that pressure that they've gotten, utilize that confidence that they've gotten to continue to push the pedal to the metal against TS, like we saw in game number 1. That made JDG come out with such a dominant win.
Oh my lord, that damage! He's gone!
Literally just dead! Kanavi goes into the backline. Heroic Entrance comes in as well. Righteous Judgment not going to do anything, as it's another fight wipe for JDG.
Absolute massacre on the Rift. The damage coming out. JackeyLove doesn't even get a chance to flash or exhaust in that situation. Bursted out by Hope, and then the follow-up is there from Kanavi. They're going to head over towards the Baron. Tian is dead. No chance of a smite steal, but still Yagao plays interrupt on Knight, and they should just be able to pick this up. 1:30 until the Mountain Soul. We already see the damage difference, right? We already see how hard it is for Tian to get resets, for anyone from Top Esports to find a kill, and JDG are looking towards a potential Mountain Soul coming up in a second as well. And if they get that, it feels like the game... I mean, the game already feels pretty done. It feels like even more done at that point. The ult comes out from Draven. It won't find anything. Resets will come in. JDG just need to take the dragon off the back of this and then close this one out. Mark! Okay, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if you want to hit that one in that situation, but man, Mark has not been on point this game on the Nautilus. There've been a lot of missed hooks coming out.
Yeah, we'll get a replay of that last fight. Just seeing JackeyLove get obliterated.
Yeah, so Hope again tries to dash away to get the culling and not get caught by the stun side, but then gets the rapid fire procs in. Kanavi finishes in with a burst, and then we just see the follow-up here. Wayward ults himself, does nothing at this point. The thing with that ultimate is if you can save a powerful carry, it can make such a big difference. No one's powerful on Top Esports. It just buys a couple of seconds, and now JDG are pushing in. Dragon's up in 30 seconds, so not sure how much they're going to get done before that spawns. You can see Tian looking for a flank. This might be the last ditch effort. It's now or never.
It's a 3v5, but now Kanavi and Yagao have joined. So Tian missing his window, but he still thinks he has the window. I think you got to be a little careful in this situation, as Tian now realizing he has to run away.
I think they just have to go for it. Mark.
He's in trouble here, though, as the culling does come down yet again. We'll see the inhib tower just falling. Tidal wave in, and here comes the rest of JDG right on top of TES. As everybody's starting to fall, the Nexus towers might be the next thing on the docket here for JDG, as they're just roaming around as 5, just smashing down on TES.
You know, I was talking about the Mountain Soul. I don't even think they need it. They're just going to look for the end.
They just end the game.
can do nothing here.
2020 rivalry be damned. It is 2022 summer, and JDG are looking like the big brains here, as they will need to back out one last time and reset themselves. Maybe look at this Mountain Soul and then finish the game.
Just grab the soul. Why flip? Why
Wait,
flip?
what?
Oh no, Knight,
Wait,
you don't
what?
want to be there.
Knight, what are you doing? Oh my goodness, he just got out, but holy cow, I can't believe he just took that TP. Oh,
Look at
369 has been waiting the whole time. He knew they were going to set up the entire time, and JDG just baited TES into exactly what they wanted. Knight is doing some work, but Knight, again, has nothing left in the tank. TES have nothing left in the tank. Those are TPs, and that's the end of this series. 2-1 going in favor of JDG.
JDG take no risks, don't opt to finish through the Nexus towers, pull top esports out of the base to get that beautiful flank from 369, and that will be a convincing finish to this series. A stompier game than we saw in the previous two. This is a heated rivalry, and JDG absolutely have the edge today.
They did indeed. They'll start off their summer 2022 split with a bang and a dub in the left column as JDG pick up the win in convincing fashion in this last game. I like how he had to go.
580 carry bans against JackeyLove game 1 and 2. To do that in game 3.
Yep.
Man, leaving his signature Draven open and absolutely pounding it into the dirt.
Is that just mental? Is that a mental advantage? And they're like, all right, let's ban JackeyLove for 2 games straight. Let's do 10 bans against him. See what his mental holds up to. Okay, we'll give him his comfort pick in last game.
I feel like a big factor was, you know, on blue side, they knew they could get the Lucian, right? If it was left open. Top Esports didn't opt to ban away the Lucian. Left that one open. We saw the Renata Kalista work quite effectively into it when we had that game from EDG. In this one, however, you know, it just looked so dominant. If you get momentum on this bot lane, especially it's against a Draven, like it is 2 heavy momentum bot lanes. Whichever one wins out will just snowball so heavily. And it's the fact that, you know, Yagao was on this Galio ready to roam. Kanavi had a great read on the timings to look for ganks. And it was just brutal. It was honestly brutal.
It was indeed. And I think brutal for the side of TS, amazing for the side of JDG. But that's where the question begs itself, right? Like, TS have a long season ahead of them. They still have this stacked roster. We're still allotting them so much. The game 2 looked really good. You could see what happens when they're able to kind of tie it together. And that's where you get to see some of that shining through here in this series.
And also, I want to bear in mind, top esports opt to go for the dive, right? So, you know, we can definitely praise JDG, but top esports kind of did that to themselves a little bit in that one. So, yeah, not too sure on that play. Might have to rethink that one. Ultimately, I feel like it's so easy to focus on this game 3. Top Esports still did have a fantastic game 2 that they bounced back from that first one. Tian definitely had a really strong performance there. Yes, this game was stompy, but it still was in scoreline a close series. It definitely showed that Top Esports, given the right draft, given the right picks, the Viego, Lissandra in that game 2, they can come out ahead. Still a close matchup between these 2 teams who are top 4 in spring. But JDG, I think something that was definitely a big factor is in terms of star power for me. I think a lot of people don't look at JDG as being a stacked roster as like some of the other the other top 4 teams, particularly in the mid lane. Like, I feel like everyone talks about Rookie, Xiaohu, and Knight. Yagao definitely not as much up there. But I think the team play is just so good from JDG. They work so well as a unit, comparable to like how RNG are so good as working as a team. We saw that on display at MSI. And I think Kanavi is such a pivotal centerpiece. He had a fantastic series in this one. And as much as he did get like bullied out in game 2 by Tian, it was kind of just Knight being that extra piece that made it work. Whereas Kanavi, super good at finding those opportunities and windows.
And that's where I want to highlight, like, that's the biggest strength that we could see out of them last split as well, is that solid team fighting. The fact that they could turn around games, even if, you know, early games a little bit rough. It's the big brainness that comes out of JDG when it really matters. And specifically talking about Kanavi, who had a show out performance against one of the legendary junglers of the LPL in Tian, and himself coming in game number 1 on the Wukong, going into Tian's jungle, getting the solo bolo, and then running away with the game. And then game 3, doing a lot of the same, maybe not in the same fashion, but having such a big impact on that Wukong.
Yeah, I mean, it just really looks like Kanavi has carried on that form that we saw from him later in the split in spring from playoffs. Really hyped to see him play again. And I feel like this was such a stacked matchup between him and Tian. Kanavi, I feel, ultimately had the edge, but also the volatility of this top esports bot lane striking back. JackeyLove has always been a player with high highs and low lows. You can see the damage difference in this game. Mark as well. I'm going to be honest, that's the worst Nautilus game in a while, and you don't really have the excuse of it being a new thing in the meta, right? You know, some of these other enchanters coming in, I can give players a pass because they might not have had too much practice on them, but Nautilus has been meta for basically forever, and Mark was missing some criminal dredge lines in that game, so definitely felt like not just Hope performing well in the AD carry, but also a support difference with missing really stepping up. You can see that goal graph, you know.
Yeah.
It was just so one-sided. In fact, 0 towers for top esports, no neutral objectives at all, and they only managed to get 4 kills in that game.
Yeah, and that's the big thing I wanted to highlight is the fact they got 0 objectives across the board. And there's a reason why JDG looked so dominant, why they were winning so hard at the 10, the 15, and even the 20-minute mark. And being able to see that kind of them pilot that to a victory was still important for me, right?